Wait a second, I forgot about Toxic. No! Hello everybody! Today we have quite a unique Pokemon. Shedinja is a very interesting mon who could be extremely overpowered or completely useless, depending on the situation. His ability Wonder Guard makes it so it can only be hit by a super effective move, but to compensate for this broken ability, it only has a single HP point for the entirety of the run. The rules are as follows. I can only use my starter in battle. I cannot use any consumables in battle. I can't raise my evasion in any way. And I can't use any cheats or glitches. The start of the game is very easy for Shedinja, since pretty much everyone only has normal type moves, and those can't hit us. Even without the ability, they would do nothing to us. I chose a nature that raises my attack, since that is Shedinja's best stat. I am not sure how useful a nature that raises speed would be, since we have very bad base speed. The fight against May is free, since her starter only knows Scratch, that, as I mentioned earlier, can't touch us. So it's only a question of time before we win. The same can be said for the fight against the Team Aqua Grant in the forest. His Puchiena does not know Bite yet, so it can only delay us with sand attack. But soon he falls too, and then we hit a massive wall. Roxanne can one-shot us with any rock move, and since I only have Scratch, I can't do much against her. So I had to spend way too much time leveling our undead bug all the way to level 38 when it learns Shadow Ball. With a neutral stab move and our massive level advantage, the first gym does not stand any chance, and we one-shot all of her Pokémons. I could have tried to do it earlier with confusion, but it would have required a lot of luck. Optional May can't do anything because we blow up her Pokémons before they can even move. Brawly is the second gym leader, and he only has fighting type moves on his Pokémons. So you can guess how the fight went with him. Not like it matters, since I can just outspeed and sweep his team away. After we got the second gym badge, we have to make our way to Slateport and fight some more grunts. This time the fight is slightly more interesting, since both of them have a Carvana, and if I use a contact move against them, I am going to die to their rough skin. Thankfully, Shadow Ball does not make contact, so even if it is resisted, we can defeat all of their Pokémons. The next major fight is against May 2 on the land bridge before Moville. I was kinda worried that Wingull would be faster than me, but that does not happen, so we can use Shadow Ball to once again one-shot all of her Pokémons. Interestingly enough, all three of them had a move to take me out. Next up is Watson, and I thought that he did not have anything for me, but then the Voltorb outspeeds and uses Rollout. Turns out I just needed one more level to be faster than it, so once I came back stronger, it was an easy fight, since the rest of his team can't touch me. Technically, Magneton can use Supersonic, and if I hit myself even once, I am dead, but he does not use it, so I'm fine. I could have saved the resets if I did more research, but it's more interesting this way. Next up is Maxi, and as I expected, he was a tough nut to crack. My Tiena is a very big counter to Shedinja. He lowers my attack so I can't one-shot it, and I had to rely on confusion myself. After a few attempts, he hits himself enough for me to take it out. The rest of the team is neutral to Shadow Ball, so I can finish them off that way. After we messed up Max's plans, I had to face the next gym, and Flannery, with her tanky fire Pokémons, seemed a steep hill to climb, but strangely enough, thanks to my levels and a super effective dig and soft sand to increase my power, I can actually one-shot every single one of her Pokémons for another easy badge. The next gym is the normal type one, and while it may seem easy, that is not quite the case, since two of his Pokémons know a dark move. I lost once because I misclicked against the slacking, but other than that, the fight is not that bad. I have enough attack to destroy all of his Pokémons but the slacking himself. Thankfully, I can cheese him since I can dig on the turns where he can attack, and sooner or later we will be able to defeat it. Even without dig, I could have used confusion, but that would have likely cost a few more resets. After we have defeated our dead, we have to make our way to the Weather Institute, and after clearing that location, we come face to face with May once again. Her team is stronger, but not enough to pose a threat. I can still outspeed all of them and take them out with a Shadow Ball each. Once we have dealt with the rival, it's time to fight another hard gym, Winona and her flying types, who are super effective on us. Here the only problem is Skarmory, since I can't one-shot it, and I need a 1-4 chance for a double hit in confusion. So of course I get it after 8 attempts. What can I say, my luck has not been the best. At this point, my leveling is starting to spiral out of control, since Shedinja is part of the irregular growth rate. And if you remember, those guys require the least amount of XP to level up in the late game. Next, I wanted to teabag on May, so I took her on in front of them all. Her team, once again, improved quite a bit, but it's still not enough to survive the onslaught of Shadow Balls. So that is another easy win for the Ghostly Bug. I believe that if I did not need to level up so much, May could have been a serious challenge. Up next is Maxi again, and this time he was much easier. I think that his Mightyena does not have anything to hit me, so he switched in Acrobat, but in doing so, he gave me the opportunity of taking it out before it could attack me. And once there was only the Mightyena left, assuming that I don't hit myself, the fight is effectively over. He stalls a bit with potions, but just delays the inevitable. The next gym is a double fight, so I was very worried about it. Thankfully, the Xatu does not have any moves that are super effective on me, so as long as I don't touch it, I can 1v1 the Pokemon on the right. This made one of the worst fights in the game kinda free, since there is no way they survive a stab super effective hit. That was a very pleasant surprise. I thought this or Sidney would be the hardest fight in the run, but I could not have been more wrong. Since the fight with Steven, which is usually a nice break, turned out to be one of the hardest fights I have done this year. It took over 120 attempts. Even after using the rare candies, the Crobat outspeeds me and one-shots me. So is the run over? Not exactly. There is an item called Quick Claw that sometimes lets you attack first, ignoring speed. So I had to defeat their whole team without dying, just to roll a d5 against the Crobat and hopefully get the 20% chance needed to not die. In the successful attempt, their AI went off script and started switching. This was very scary, but ultimately, somehow, it worked out in my favor. I got the quick claw and one-shotted the Crobat. Even with that monster defeated, I could still lose to Swagger, so I hid below the ground and left Metang to finish off the last Mightyena. Well, that was not very fun, but at least it's over now. I was expecting Archie to be another wall because Crobat, but like Maxi, his Mightyena does not have dark moves, and he switches in Crobat, who takes a lot of damage, and I can finish it while he potions. Sharpedo is a one-shot, and the Mightyena thankfully does not confuse me, so I can take it out without any risks. For those wondering, Secret Power does not make contact, even if it looks like it should. Next, we have to save the world once again from legendary made climate change. If you are enjoying the video, please leave a like and why not subscribe? It would be very helpful for the channel. And if you have used it, write down in the comments your best moments using shedinja, either in the regular game or in competitive. Anyway, getting back to the game. It's time to face Juan, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He can't do anything to me. At this point, I'm almost max level, so my attacks hurt a lot, and I don't think he has any moves for Shedinja. At least I had a bit of a break from hard fights for a little while. I hope that the rest of the game will go somewhat smoothly too. Once we obtain the last badge, we have to go through the Victory Road. Here we meet Wally, who wants to challenge us one last time. I'm sure his team has some answers for Shedinja, but unfortunately for him, his levels are too low, so I can outspeed and one-shot. I messed up a bit against the Magneton, since I should have used Dig, but even if resisted, Shadow Ball is still strong enough to take it out. Once Wally is dealt with, we can start the league. For it, I leveled to 100 since I was already almost there. The first member is Sidney. He could be hard since he is the dark type trainer and he opens with an intimidate, but return deals too much damage and allows me to take out all of his Pokémons in one hit each. Not going to lie, I feel kinda dumb worrying about him for so long. Up next is a Pheobe. She has ghost type Pokémons, so she could be dangerous too. But this time Shadow Ball is super effective instead of resisted, so the fight against her was quite easy. The only Pokémon who could be a problem is Sableye, since he is neutral to it, but it gets one-shotted too. So far the league has been pretty easy. Is Glacia going to reverse the trend? Spoiler alert, she's not. Most of their Pokémons can't touch me, and the one who does dies on switching. I guess the AI could go for Hail and take me out that way, but even if her Pokémons have a lot of HP, I can defeat them before they set up their weather. Drake surprised me because Salamence apparently is faster than me and has 3 super effective moves on me. That's not all though, because thanks to his ability that cuts my attack in half, he can survive one hit and retaliate. The rest of the team is not a problem since they don't have anything for me or die before they can attack. For the big boy himself, I had to get a quick claw proc plus 2 hits in confusion. The odds are not exactly in my favor, but he also messes up, so I can defeat the pseudo-legendary. I guess he also has Kindra, but nobody cares about it. Drake tries to stall me by using a bunch of full restores, but it does not matter since I'm not going to run out of PPs anytime soon. I'm glad that was not as bad as it could have been. As you saw in the teaser, I lost once to Wallace because I forgot that Toxic can hit Shedinja, but the second time around I equipped a Pecha Berry for it. He should have sent out Gyarados immediately, since with only half attack most of his Pokémons could have lived, but instead he sends out Trash that I can one-shot. Thanks to Intimidate, the Sea Snake Dragon thing leaves a hit, but does not have any move to take me out. This time Milotic misses Toxic, so that's a bit trolly, but at least he goes down to... Well, we have finished the game with a clean 150 resets. That's a lot. I have to say, ignoring Roxanne and the Steven fights, the rest of the game was not that bad. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, subscribe and leave a comment to please the algorithm. See you next week. Bye!